welcome back. I hope you're all doing really well. I'm having a lovely sewing day today, so I thought I would share it with you. If you've been following along with me lately, you'll know that I have been working my way through my fabric stash. I never have a large fabric stash anyway, but I did have a few fabrics that have been hanging around in my cupboard that I knew I needed to get on with and just sew up. I do have lots of other lovely fabrics and sewing plans for summer that I want to buy and get on with, but my challenge to myself was just to try and sew up these remaining fabrics before buying anything new. And I have to say, I'm really enjoying it. I'm finding it quite addictive, really. It's really been enjoyable just to see my stash going down, to see my cupboards becoming empty, and to actually sew up the fabrics into what they were originally intended for. Anyway, what I'm planning to sew up today is actually my linen set. I had about 2 meters of this linen fabric. This is just a little scrap because I have cut out what I'm planning to sew today. But what I was planning to make with this 2 meters of linen was like a linen co-ord set, which I keep seeing around everywhere on the high street. So for my co-ord set, what I want to make is a pair of culotte length trousers and a nice shift style sleeveless top. Just a nice simple summer co-ord set that will be nice and easy to wear hopefully in the summer months when it's nice and warm. So the patterns that I'm planning to use for this set are, first of all, I'm sure you could have all guessed the trousers that I was planning to use. I'm going to use the sapphire trousers by Tilling the Buttons. As you'll know, this pattern is one of my absolute favourites. I have quite a few pairs of these and I just find them so easy, so comfortable to wear in the summertime. But the best thing about the sapphire trousers is that it's just such a quick and easy pattern to whip up. So the sapphire trousers are actually from the Tilling the Buttons Make It Simple book, which is a book that's aimed at beginners. They're nice, quick and easy sewing patterns that you can normally whip up in 2 to 3 hours or sometimes even less. So the sapphire trousers, they actually only have 2 pattern pieces, a back leg and a front leg. You can add pockets if you want to. There is a pocket pattern piece in the back of this book, which I've only just recently discovered actually, but I've never actually added or wanted to add actually pockets to these. I just think they work better without them. So the waistband is a nice easy fold over partially elasticated waistband, so the front is flat and the back is elasticated, which I actually think gives a more flattering finish. I prefer a flat fronted waistband if I'm going to have an elastic waistband. So those are going to be my trousers, and then for the top I have undenied about the top. And then when I was sharing about my linen fabric in one of my recent videos, a lady kindly commented in the comments and said, why don't you look at the Helen's Closet Ashton top? And I had a look at it and thought actually that would be perfect. It's still got a lovely cropped length to it, but it has a higher rounded neckline and some nice wide straps, so it's good for bra coverage and nice and easy to wear. So I have actually gone for that pattern this time. So yeah, everything's cut out and ready to go. With any luck, fingers crossed, this should be a reasonably quick and easy set to sew up. These are both really great beginner patterns. So I think what I'm going to do is make the sapphire trousers first and then move on to the top, because I know what I'm doing with the sapphires and I should be able to get those done quickly, fingers crossed. First of all, the front and back legs are sewn together at the inside and outside seams at a 1.5 centimetre seam allowance, and then the seams are overlocked or finished in your preferred method. After the legs are sewn, the crotch needs to be sewn. So to do this, we turn one of the legs to the right way round and place it inside the leg that's still inside out. Match up the crotch seams and notches and sew right the way around the crotch. Okay, so we have a humongous pair of trousers now. If you're making these, don't be put off by the size of them while you're sewing them, but they do work, so trust the process and keep going and they'll be fine once they have the elasticated waistband in. A little tip that Tilly actually gives in the instructions is to place a pin in the back of your trousers after you've done the overlocking around the crotch, and I find that really useful because it is quite hard to tell the back and front once you've overlocked the crotch seam, because obviously you've probably overlocked your notches away. I'm just looking outside my patio door. I mentioned this on Instagram. We have a little nest of blue tits right outside our back door. So we had this old like outdoor rug all rolled up outside the back door, and it's been there for quite some time, and it's just been there because we need to take it to the tip. The other day I was sitting outside and I noticed that there were blue tits flying in and out of that rug. I realised that there was actually a nest of babies right at the bottom there. So I'm really trying to keep an eye on them to see what happens. It's such a strange place, I think, because it literally is right outside the back door. So I'm really conscious every time I go in and out. And obviously we have the dog as well that's always in and out. And I'm really conscious all the time that we're not scaring the mum and dad blue tit away, because I can see them in the tree opposite and they just sort of sit there and they wait for it to all be quiet, and then they come over to the rug and kind of feed the bird. I really need to keep an eye out to try and make sure that we can see when they leave the nest. But yeah, that's really exciting. I've never had anything like that in our garden before, because normally I think birds are put off of coming into our garden because of the dog, obviously, and we get loads of magpies and things in our garden as well. So at least where they are at the bottom of this rug, I don't think the magpies can get in, so that's really good. Anyway, back to sewing chat. We are on to constructing the waistband now. So all we do for that is actually to double fold over the waistband, and there are some measurements in the book obviously for how to do that. And then there are measurements in the book as well for where to keep the flap front open and then where to thread the elastic. Now we have a much more reasonable looking waistband. So can you see the flat front there, and then the back is elasticated, so it's nice and comfortable. I know that normally with my Sapphire trousers I just hem them to about an inch, so 2.5 centimetres, but I am just going to shoot up and quickly try these on and just check that I don't want to leave them any longer or take them up any shorter or anything like that. Just check that the elastic is all okay, and then I will hem the trousers. Are done, hooray! So when I went to try these on, I decided that I really liked the length as it was, like without even taking up any hem. So rather than take up my usual inch, I decided to just overlock the edges of the legs and then just turn them up 1.5 centimetres. As little a hem as I could. So I'm glad they're done. I'm going to have a little quick break now, and then I'm going to get on with my Ashton top, which I'm really excited about. It's always nice to try a new pattern, isn't it? And I'll let you know how I get on with that too. into the top construction, and so far I've done the stay stitching because the pattern says you should stay stitch the neckline and the armholes. So I did all of that on the facing and the actual main garment. And then I've just done the darts at the front and the shoulder seams. So next I'm on to the all-in-one facing. I am slightly concerned about the length of this. I just held it up against me and it is quite short. So once that facing's in, I'm going to go and try this on, and then I might need to be a bit creative with the facing for the hem if it is a bit short, and I might be able to add some length there. We will see. The facing is constructed by first of all pinning the neckline of the facing to the neckline of the bodice and then sewing all around the neckline area. Hopefully I captured a little bit of the facing finish there. I got a little confused there because the armhole was finished in the burrito method, and for some reason I just couldn't get my head around how to do it. But then once I'd realised it was obvious, I was trying to roll it in the normal burrito way that you would normally do if you're doing like a shirt yoke or something. So I was rolling it upwards rather than from the side. I don't know if that makes sense. But anyway, it gives a really nice finish because the armholes are all nicely faced inside. And then what you do is just simply sew right up the side seams and right up the side of the facing, and then turn it through, and everything is nice and neatly enclosed. So what I'm going to do now is just pop up and try this on and see what I think about the length of it with the trousers, and then just have a little think about what I may or may not need to do with the hem facing.
Keep diving into concrete, so bittersweet, huh? Keep losing sleep while driving in the backseat. What's left of me? Drowning in what feels just like an ocean. Negativity is getting closer. Hard to keep the heat when it gets colder, you know.
So here's my little top. So when I tried it on, it seemed as though it wasn't going to be too short. Luckily, the Savannah trousers are quite high-waisted, so I was panicking slightly about the length, but actually it is okay. So that's really good. I really like the finish of this top. So obviously you have the facing side, and then I do love a faced hem. So this is what the faced hem looks like inside. I've actually run 2 rows of stitching around the bottom because the first line I did didn't quite catch in the folded over like seam allowance that I needed to catch in. So I might actually sit and unpick the first line that I did, but I'll see how much it notices. It just looks a little bit like a twin needle at the moment. I'm really pleased to have discovered this pattern. Thank you so much to the person that did alert me to this. It wasn't one that had caught my eye before, and actually I was a little bit reluctant to buy it at first because I do have a couple of cami tops already, like the Sew Over It silk cami and the Ogden cami that I use all the time, but actually this one has some really nice details to it that are a little bit different to my previous camis, so that's always nice, and I really like the boxy shape of this one. So I'm actually really pleased with how this has turned out. I will put some video footage in of the finished set at the end of the video so you can see how it looks on and everything, but actually it's worked really well. So I hope that's given a good idea as to how you can use some really beginner friendly, nice and easy, if you are more advanced, quick and easy sewing projects, just to whip up a nice easy summer set that is very on trend at the moment, and they're patterns that you can sew up in around a couple of hours. So I think if you do have some sewing experience, you could quite easily whip up this set in 3 to 4 hours and you'd be done. I can definitely see myself making a few of these sets for summertime. It would be really nice to have one in a print fabric as well. I think that would work really nicely, wouldn't it? So I'm going to go and try this on now. I will finish the video here and just say thank you so much for watching, everyone. I hope it's been an enjoyable, relaxing sewing day. It certainly has for me. It's absolutely chucking it down outside at the moment, and I always find it really cozy to just be inside sewing, even if I am sewing up something summery and it is pouring with rain. I hope I will get to wear it at some point in the future. Please don't forget to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and if you have enjoyed this video, please do give it a like as well. I will link everything that I've talked about as always in the comments below the video so that you know where to find it. I'll just leave you with a bit of footage of the finished set now. Take care everyone, and I'll look forward to seeing you in another video soon. Bye!
Everything just gets hard. Sometimes everything just gets harder. Feeling like I'm missing some parts. Days just keep on getting much darker.